To begin, you're going to attach that ball of clay onto the wheel head. You do that by slamming it down as close as you can to the center and firmly taking your hands and patting it down. Now we're going to take it one step further and increase the speed of the wheel, wet your hands, and press your right hand down and into your left hand. The left hand is the support and the right hand is giving the pressure to make sure that it sticks to the wheel head. After you've done this, put a little bit more water, and now we're going to cone up. And we do this by taking our hands, that area of your hands, and pushing up and going up. Oops, now sometimes this will happen. What you just got to do is put that aside and don't worry about it. Okay, so let's start again. I'm going to use my hands, I'm going to press in and go up. The pressure that you do naturally makes it go up because the clay has nowhere to go. Make sure you constantly clean the wheel head with your thumb or a tool. This makes it clean and easy to see what you're doing. I coned up a little bit more. Now what we're going to do is cone down. And you do this by taking your right hand and pressing down and into your left hand. Okay? I'm going to cone up again. You want to do this 4 to 5 times to make sure that all the molecules in the clay are going the same direction. I'm going to cone up, clean off the wheel head, and cone down. Again, same thing, cone up, clean off the wheel head, and cone down. After you've done that a few times, you're going to try to center it. I made mine purposefully off-centered, but yours might be like this. And this is when you want to really focus on getting it centered. I'm going to use both of my hands and focus on making them still. I brace my arms on my body and not have my elbows flare out. There's a lot different techniques that you can use to do this, but the main purpose of it is to get that clay centered so it's not wobbly on the wheel head. This is one of the most difficult things to do. Just be patient and you will get it eventually. So now that the clay is centered, I'm going to put the hole in the middle of the clay. I'm going to use my fingers on the outside and my thumbs are going to press down and into the ball of clay. I'm going to widen it out with my fingertips of the other hand. Now, what you can do is check the thickness of the base. What you want to do is take a needle tool, press it in the center, slide your finger down until it touches, and you see that my base is really thick. That is way too thick. I need it to be much smaller. So I'm going to do it again, take my fingers and press down more. To make that bottom thinner. Stop the wheel and check the thickness again. That is the proper thickness of a base. Now I'm going to continue the process of making the cylinder. I'm going to take my fingers and push them outwards or bring them towards me just a little bit so that the ball of clay is the width that I want my cylinder. Now that I have that, I'm going to begin by raising the walls of my cylinder. To raise the walls, what you want to do is put pressure from both sides from your fingers, push down and up. As a demonstration, look at this wooden tool. What I do is pretend that's a clay wall. I put pressure with my fingers and I slowly go up, just like that. I always want to keep my hands connected in some way to keep them stable. Now once again, I'm going to take my fingers and I'm going to press them together and slowly go upwards. This makes the clay stretch and go up by itself. Okay, so once again, that's the finger position that I have. Same thing again. I'm using my fingertips, linking them up, putting pressure, and slowly going upwards. Clean off the wheel head. Now this here I'm showing you, you don't want your fingers to go really fast like that because what it'll do is make it go wobbly. So you want to have slower movements with your hands so that the lines, when you're raising the walls, are much smaller. Just like that. One last pull, just to make sure that everything is even. Good. Now I want to make sure that I get all the water out of the bottom of the cylinder. Any extra water may cause cracking. Now I'm going to use my wooden tool, use that side and the tip, and I'm going to carve down and onto the wheel head. I'm cleaning off and taking away any extra clay along that base. This is an optional technique that you can use later on when you get the hang of it. All right. Now I'm going to use my wooden rib, and I'm going to do this in order to make the walls very straight. I'm keeping my right hand still with the rib in it and taking my left hand and pressing into the rib. The rib isn't going into the clay, but rather my hand is going into the rib. Okay, now I'm going to show you if you have a lip that is very wobbly, this is how you're going to cut off the top. You use your left hand and pinch, and then you use your right hand to take the needle tool and slice through the clay to take the wobbly top half off. Again, I'm going to use the rib to smooth out the walls and make them very smooth. Now at this point, it's a very nice cylinder, but I want to put some shape on it. So I'm going to take my left hand from the inside and push out, and push inwards with my right hand that's on the outside in order to give it some additional shape. This is called collaring in, and it's when you take your hands on the outside and you squeeze in gently. You want to do this numerous times and not try to push too hard because it'll make ruffles in the clay. I'm looking on the side of the pot, and that's why I'm in the way, because I'm trying to get the right angle to see what the shape is from the side. Now I'm going to use my metal rib, and this defines the shapes even more. This makes the clay very smooth on the outside, and it's just that final touch in order to get it really smooth and nice. I'm going to get the water out from the inside to avoid cracks. Smooth out the lip, since that's what people will be drinking out of. I use the sponge to do that. And now one last time with the wooden tool in order to get that base the proper shape and size that I want. Clean it off. One last finishing touch. Okay, so that's the finished piece. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove it from the wheel head. And I'm going to do this by taking some water. I have to get the wire tool. I'm going to take the wire tool, use my fingers to make it taut, and slice through the base of the pot while the wheel is moving. I do this one time, but you can also add more water onto the base as you do it, so it really makes it slippery and so that it has no problem coming off. There you go. So it's let loose. So now I'm going to take my right hand, slide it to the edge with my left hand underneath it, and then there you go, and now I can place it on a wear board. Now I'm going to show you how to do it from a different angle, fast forward. Attaching it to the wheel head, cone up, cone down, cone up, cone down. Making the hole, widening it out, cleaning off the center, and raising the walls. Fingers are pinching, going in a good direction, and going up. Doing it again. Cleaning out the bottom from water, collaring in, shaping the outside with the rib, collaring in. Raising the walls one more time, trimming with the needle tool, smoothing out the lip, widening it out. Now making my shape, refining the shape with the metal rib, smoothing out, taking the water out from the inside, smoothing out the rim. Final touches, and done.